Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of our Bulls video mailbag series. As always, we appreciate your questions. First one comes from @SadSportFanWill. Is 39 wins and the 9th spot acceptable again? Well, Will, it depends on who you're asking. If you're asking me, I mean, you could look at this glass half full or glass half empty. If you're asking our 𝗕𝗏 𝗃𝗏, Mark Eversley, and their staff, I bet you the answer is yes. Not acceptable, but they are clearly pleased with some of the things that have happened this season. And that's why I say you can look at this from a glass half full or a glass half empty perspective. Glass half full. They did develop some of the younger players. I don't think anybody expected them to be matching last season's record after the trades of DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, and Zach LaVine. Modest Buzelis is showing quite a few signs of promise. Coby White has taken another step. Josh Giddey's playing himself into a nice contract. So there are a lot of positive things to look at. Glass half empty. After all those changes, they are still stuck in the middle. Right at 39 and 43 in the 9th seed, same record, same seed as last season. So they have a lot of work to do, and we all know this is a star-driven league. Could Coby White ascend to that level of superstar? Could Modest Buzelis ascend to that level of superstar? Could Josh Giddey ascend to that level of superstar? Time will tell. Right now, they are where they are. Same position as last year. I do think this has a slightly different feel, given this has been based more on a youth movement than an aging core. All right, question number 2 comes from @ThomasBanks82. When you look at the Bulls season, are you grading as a whole, or are you mainly looking at the second half of the season post All-Star break? Well, obviously, you have to grade every season as a whole. I mean, look, there was value in the first half of that season because Zach LaVine played at a level that allowed the Bulls to finally accomplish their goal of trading him. I've been on record many times as saying I was a huge Zach LaVine fan. I personally didn't love the idea of trading him, but they did, and the trade has brought some nice pieces back to the Bulls. I do think it'll be hard to re-sign Tre Jones, but Kevin Huerter and Zach Collins are both under contract for next season. Kevin Huerter has been a wonderful addition to this roster, has kind of revived his career. So there is, value to the whole season, grading as a whole. And do not get seduced by this finish. Everyone knows March and April basketball can be very skewed in the NBA. There are some teams that are prioritizing draft position. There are some teams that are outright tanking. There are some teams who are resting players. Now, have the Bulls played well post All-Star break? Absolutely. And their commitment to this offensive identity all season long, taking more three-pointers, playing fast after made and missed shots, has been impressive. It's been the best offensive scoring and passing season in franchise history. So there's good and bad in all of it, but you do have to look at the season as a whole, and they're still 39 and 43, sitting 9th. All right, question number 3 comes from @DogeTube1, DOGE. Why did Billy Donovan wait 50 games to play Modest Buzelis? Well, he didn't wait to play him. What he did is he held the rookie accountable. And I've said this all along. It doesn't really matter what I think about how Billy Donovan approached Modest Buzelis. It doesn't really matter what you think about how Billy Donovan approached Modest Buzelis. Modest Buzelis liked the way that Billy Donovan approached Modest Buzelis. He has praised his coach and the staff multiple times for how they held him accountable, how some games he would be benched after quick mistakes. Some games he'd play a lot, some games he'd play a little. He has earned his way to these minutes. And the fact that his season has gone on a trajectory like this, climbing upward steadily all the way through, has been very, very impressive. This kid has a ton of potential, and it goes beyond what he does on the court. It's what you see off the court, his work ethic, his commitment to film study, his ability to ask questions, his ability to be open to criticism, his ability to be coached, his ability to seek input from veteran teammates. That's the kind of makeup that we see behind the scenes that, to me, screams potential for this kid. I mean, obviously the athleticism, the dunks, the shot blocking ability, the two-way potential. You see that on the court. It's what you see, that we see behind the scenes off the court, that to me is more impressive. All right, our last question this week is going to come from @Mike Alex Bowling. We think this is legal. He asks, which Bulls player could fly under the radar and be an X factor for their success in the postseason? I am going with Kevin Huerter. I mentioned briefly before about how he, to me, has revived his NBA career here in Chicago after some stagnation in Sacramento. I think we're seeing possibly the best version of Kevin Huerter, and that dates back to his Atlanta days, because I've said all along, this guy is not just a spot-up three-point shooter. He is best when he's on the move, not only with his shooting ability, but with his ability to cut and be a complementary offensive piece, his ability to pass, his rebounding. He has great positional size. This is a complete basketball player, and he has shown that in his brief tenure here with the Bulls. And as I mentioned before, he is under contract through next season, which makes this even more attractive if you're Bulls management. So I've been most impressed with his cutting ability. If you watch him, he's just one of those guys who knows how to play basketball. He makes the offense function better when he's on the court. He cuts into space. He sometimes obviously spaces out to create spacing. He cuts into open spaces to set up another teammate for an open shot. He's just a smart basketball player. And I think that if the Bulls are going to do anything in this play-in tournament and or potential first-round playoff matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's going to take a big effort from Kevin Huerter. I was joking with him Sunday in Philadelphia. The dude just lit up the 76ers on the road from three-point range this year. It's the only time he's taken 2 heat check three-pointers that I've seen. Both meetings, he took a heat check three-pointer, and I called him on it. I believe we just had a phone drop in the background here too, but that's the kind of content we bring you here at the Bulls Video Mailbag. We thank you for all of your questions as always, and we'll be back, win or lose, with more questions next week.